And welcome, race fans. Another episode from CRN, but this time with a new league, and that would be the Premier Series Stock Car Racing League, as we just kind of hopped on board here, promoted by Firestorm Racing and a slew of sponsors that will be flashing down your bottom right screen. But tonight we will start with a 100-lap race here at Daytona International. So in the trucks, this is the truck series here. But I'm not going to do this by myself. I have a co-commentator on here. You guys have heard him in the past with Carl Handwork and with myself, Mr. Mark Thomas. How you doing tonight, Mark?
I'm doing very well, Jimmy. I'm glad to be here. I'm looking forward to this. New league for me. Not being involved with these guys before, but I do like a bit of truck racing, and it's Daytona. I mean, what is not to love?
Yeah, Daytona is just one of those racetracks that puts on some great racing, especially with the plate track racing and all that stuff that's going on. And before we get going here, I do want to bring in one of these league owners, sponsors, drivers that's out there, and I'm going to bring him up in the booth here as he's going live with this camera here. I'm going to go ahead and bring that up. Hopefully this works the way I want it to, as he's working on that right now. But it's going to be Mr. Josh Kreider. So when you get a chance, Josh, go ahead and go speak and tell us about your league a little bit.
Hey guys, thanks for coming aboard this year and broadcasting for us. The Premium Stock Car Racing League Season 2 is starting tonight, and we're extremely excited. I want to give a quick shout out to all of our sponsors, Lonnie Kreider for coming aboard and supporting us financially this year, as well as Admin Box, NJB Designs, Gaston's iRacing Graphics, and I can't remember if I said Admin Box or not, but they're a great partner for us. Really excited to have everybody coming aboard. It should be a really good race, going green here at 9:30. We won't have qualifying tonight because we had the shootout last Saturday night to set the lineup for tonight's race. So hopefully you all sit back, grab some popcorn, get a Budweiser or whatever you want to drink, and enjoy the race.
Yeah, definitely looking for a great show here by you guys here at this league here, as I've been watching you guys practice. So hopefully you guys will just have a little bit of fun out there for practice, as you guys qualified last week. But look forward to seeing you out there and see what you guys can do and put on a great show for everybody.
Absolutely. Stage break at lap 25.
All right, well, so you heard that, folks. Stage break will be at 25, and these guys will get out there and do that. So before we get going here, we do have he talked about how they got qualified, and see if I can show that right now. So the starting grid, but I think we still have a little bit of time of practice left, if I'm not mistaken.
Jim, by the looks of it, about 3 minutes. While we're here, Jim, I'm just going to have a quick look down the live chat. Jimmy 6 times. Just commentating on thank you at the core racing level for coming on board. Absolute pleasure. Enjoy the racing, everyone. Season's about one for the ages. I hope so. We've then got Kevin Foster. Kev Foster is here in the chat. Where's my shout out? It's right here, Kev. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, it's always good to see Kevin out there, one of the core founders and legends of saving fuel. And I'm sure if he had the time, he would probably be out here racing against these boys here as well. But nothing like I said, nothing like a good plate track race. And these guys here have a few minutes of qualifying as they're just kind of burning off a little bit of steam, hopefully getting in the mood to have a good time, as these trucks will be going around here 100 laps. So that is a long time out here. It's a long time to be racing side by side. I hope these drivers have the patience that it takes to just be that intense for that long. NASCAR does it a little bit longer for the real deal, but right here, this is about almost halfway, and it really is going to show these drivers that it takes a little bit of longevity, patience, to hit your marks, and working with each other. And if these aren't the 26 closest friends, I think after about 100 laps starting this week, they're going to be a little bit closer than they want to, or you're going to go out there and make some enemies, as you never know what kind of rivalries will pick up during the season.
I I can see there being a few rivalries by the end of tonight, Jimmy. I really can. Yeah, Daytona's, as you say, play track, so there's a lot of slipstreaming, there's a lot of pushing. I mean, I hope they stick to the age-old adage, don't push the pusher. But, the thing with these guys, we don't know how well they know each other. We don't know, how long they've been in the league, how long, how well they know each other, how long they've driven around each other for. So, I mean, all of these things we need to take in consideration.
Yeah, Josh mentioned that this is season 2, so I would imagine that there's a few drivers out there that have already have a bit of experience with each other, who drives how and what lines they take and if they're aggressive or whatnot. But here at Daytona, our track's at 118 degrees, it's 107 degrees out, and we only have a 5-mile-an-hour wind, so not much to really push these cars around as far as wind goes. And something that some drivers don't even pay attention to, and how much it really can affect a car, especially like going down a backstretch or front stretch, really getting those times set, or the way the truck enters a corner. Well, we're talking about trucks here tonight, but yeah, the practice session is about up, and then I'll be able to pull up the grid, show the starting lineup of our first race here on CRN with the Premier Series Stock Car Racing. So it kind of get me a little confused as they're racing trucks tonight. But anyways, Firestorm Racing on tap. I got, obviously, again, a shout out to Butt Kicker, Admin Box, and there's a few others. They'll keep rotating as they get going here. But I also have a little treat for everybody here soon, as they'll start lining up and their practice session is up. So as soon as that is up, I'm going to see if I can pull up the grid here quick and run down the grid quick here. Go empty that out and we'll show the grid. So starting tonight, row 1, Jason Freites alongside with Jeff Clifton, and then we have William Conley and Brian Underwood in row number 2. Row number 3 is Kenneth Chanley, Lee Bailey. Row number 4 is John Darnell with Jordan Hand. Fifth row would be Danny White with Taylor Robinson. Row 6, Jordan Kreider with Trent McManus. Next page here, we have row 7 will be Melvin Berniger, along with Dylan Krager, Landon Burbage, and Josh Kreider in row number 8. Row number 9 will be Noah Blackwell with David Mayo. Row number 10 will be Farrell Robbins with Bryce Shoemaker. Row number 11 will be Chris Parkman with Grayson Lucas, and row number 12 will be Donald Stewart and Nick Hewer. And I believe there might be, one more row. Row number 13 with Jeffrey Goodpasture along with Keith Schumacher. So that will be our starting grid here tonight. But before we get started, a little shout out from our boy Leon Kreider. And here we go.
Hi, I'm Leon Kreider. Welcome to Daytona. Drivers, things got a little bit hot last week at Daytona. Looking forward for Daytona today to see what all goes on this week. So it's time for you to tighten those seat belts and let's start your engines and let's go racing, guys.
A little shout out there from Leon as he gives everybody the command to start their engines as the trucks are now on the put down there on pit lane mark, and it won't be too long before they start rolling out.
No, not too long at all. Do another quick look at the live chat. Glad to hear your voice, Mark. You're so sweet. I love you, Kev. And who's yours pick for tonight's race? I really don't know enough about these drivers, but there is one name in here that I kind of remember or know, or it sticks for some reason. Noah Blackwell. So I'm going to go with him just because I know the name.
There you are, folks, from Mark Thomas. The driver to watch out for tonight is Noah Blackwell, currently sitting in the 17th position. And we'll be looking forward to seeing that truck up front here tonight.
Oh, dude, I don't know if he's going to be up front. It's just, I know the name.
Hey, we're gonna push it. We're gonna make him get up there. We're gonna give him some broadcaster. Instead of the broadcaster curse, we'll give him some broadcaster luck.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, track's looking. It's looking hot out there, Jimmy. 117, 118 degrees. Good grief. That's
Yeah, 107 track temperature. So You know, I'm not quite sure on the full rules and regs. I'm almost positive that they are running full tanks, so we will see how many laps they get to go around here. I believe a full tank is somewhere in the midst of about 35 to 37 laps, which mean at least 2 green flag stops here if they, you know, if they can go that long. And that's a, like I said, like we were talking about, like I was talking about earlier, it's just a long time to be side by side. So I'm hoping to see a lots of patience, probably a lot of 2 wide for at least 80 laps mark, as I think the biggest thing is just, you know, just staying out of trouble right now, and anybody could win this race, from Jason Freites up front to Keith Schumacher in the back.
Yeah, very true. Do I think it's going to go 2 wide? No, I don't. I think that there's a couple of lads out here that are going to want to try and, you know, as you say, at the start of a new season, that they're going to want to stamp their authority. They're going to want to sort of let everybody know, I'm quick, I'm coming through, and if you're in my way, I'm going to go through you. And I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, you know, you got to establish dominance in these things.
Yeah, I mean, you do want to do that, especially, you know, if you're new to the league, you know. But also, there is some teams out there. They are partnered up, most of them here, and they may not necessarily be paired up with their, you know, their partner out here or their teammate. But we're gonna go green here. Jason Freites gets on the green pedal kind of early. The nice little jump there is gonna put him out front, but signs of that is always can be disaster, as it can kind of leave you out there as a sitting duck here at that plate track. As it takes a little while for these trucks to get up to speed. But go ahead, we'll move that number 1 there to the outside, being pushed by the 77. I am missing my car numbers here.
What you missing there, Jimmy?
My car numbers. I was looking at my tower. I'm looking at what number everybody is. We have the 01 of Jeff Clinton, or Clifton. Clifton is up front with Brian Underwood. Then that's number 77 in the 2nd place. And in 3rd, we have Jason Freites, William Conley, Lee Bailey, the 3rd. I'll leave for your top 5 early on.
Oh, it's already looking like pack racing, Jimmy. Already looking like pack racing. There's a nice little line formed up on the inside. If they can work this and stay in the line, they're already wiggling around a little out there, trying to look for a bit of space, trying to get that slipstream. The toe's going to be really, really crucial here. Tucking him behind the guy in front of you, just letting him drag you along, maybe even giving you a little bit of fuel saving. That can work to your benefit. It looks like some of these guys are already... Get out of
a little bit early there. The 57 hits the wall, gets into the 69, and a little bit of a carnage there, but they keep on going. No yellow flag as of yet, but back up front. Up front is Brian Underwood leading this back to the 77. Along behind him would be the 25 of William Conley. That will stir things up, as that little bit of calamity that happened right there just kind of mixed things up, and it's going to spread things out here.
Well, and this is the other thing that I was going to try and talk to you about, Jimmy, is you really don't want to break away into a pack around here. You don't want like a lead pack and then a back pack, but that looks like what's already happening. There's 5 up front with another 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like they're trying to get into the toe and get pulled up behind this group. Now, if that front pack all gets into a single file and starts to make a little bit of a break, it could spell a bit of trouble for the guys behind.
Yeah, you know, if that lead group can stick together single file, they can pull away. And with this only being we're only working on lap 3 of 100 right now. You know, this can, you know, be danger for the drivers behind them, as we're already looking at a decent breakaway here early on lap 4. So, you know, by no means is this race over by any shape, form, but this will definitely stir things up here. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the interval, and you can see the top 9 being within 1/10, but then in that 10th place car of Landon Burbage, making up that 2nd pack, and you can see how the trucks behind him are starting to kind of like fight side by side. You got 2 trucks on the outside where everybody's kind of they're down to the inside. So I'm gonna say that those trucks on the outside there gonna probably end up to the back of the pack, and being early on, I think I'd just grab the tail end and just keep this thing moving.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't want to be running too wide right now. I want that single file line. I just want to keep it going. The trouble with being in that group is, and you might see it every now and then, is some of these guys will want to drop themselves out of line just to get a bit of cooling over that radio, because staying in line and following each other around, it does make the temps skyrocket a bit. And with the track temps to say, 107, 108 degrees, I mean, it's warm out there. You don't want that truck to overheat.
No, and I don't know. I can't remember if they're on fixed setups or if they're on, open setups, and that can make a big difference here. Tape being a big factor, allowing these trucks to warm up and actually be faster. But right now, the single file lineup here is, like a good sight to see, though. I think, Mark, where these guys are kind of falling on line. They know the back pack knows they need to catch up to the front pack, and that's what they need to do. They need to see single file. They need to be patient. There's plenty of race, and what's going to come down to it, and I think what's going to make or break a lot of these drivers, is if they can do green flag pit stops.
Yeah, absolutely. Green flag pit stops, whether they can all come in a bunch so that when they come out again, that they're all behind one another, and they can actually carry on the momentum that they've got right now. The other thing that you're going to have to watch out for is a little bit of damage. If some of these guys are carrying some damage from that little, altercation that they had earlier on, that could affect your aero, and aero around here is crucial. If you've got a bit of damage, it will slow you up just that little bit.
Yeah, this is one of the tracks that aero is huge, especially on these trucks. And maybe some of those guys that kind of got tangled up just a little bit, maybe they do have a little bit of damage, but if they can minimize that, stay in file, like basically not be the truck out front, and then be able to use that draft to help them continue with the momentum and not lose pace. As it looks like we have a few vehicles back in the back here. It looks like Melvin Bergner coming in early. He looks like he has a little bit of side damage on the right, so probably falling off the pace early. And then along, it looks like Danny White has stepped out of the race for tonight. So one racer down, 25 drivers still remaining on track. And right now, the guy out front is Tyler Robinson, as he takes that 55 machine out front over the 57 and 77. And then back you have Jordan Hand, Lee Bailey, John Darnell, Jordan Kreider, William Conley, and it's Cheney for your top 9. That's your first pack. And then back here in the next pack, we're starting up toward the 10th car of Landon Burbage in the 2, Farrell Robbins, Chris Parkman, Grayson Lucas, Dylan Prayer, or Ayer. I'm gonna have to talk to Dylan, make sure I don't butcher his name, because I'm good at that. But Grayson Lucas in the 14th, Donald Stewart in 15th, Jeffrey Goodpasser in 16th, Nick Hewer in 17th, David Mayo in 18th, Jeff Clifton back in 19th, Trent McManus in 20th, Josh Kreider back in 21st, Keith Shoemaker and Bryce Shoemaker back in 22, 23rd, and Noah Blackwell in 24th, Melvin Bergner back in that 25th position. So early race here at lap 9 of 100. So only 1/10 of the way done. Plenty of racing left, but it looks like Brian Underwood's gonna duck down underneath the yellow line, let the back of some of the pack go, and he's gonna fall back in line, as he does not want to keep that 77 machine out front.
No. Again, it's something we were talking about. You want to try and cycle who's leading out front. The lead car tends to use a bit more fuel than, because he's essentially punching a hole through the air, allowing the trucks behind him to be able to back off and use a lot less fuel. So you'll find that every now and then the lead truck will duck either down or up, and they'll allow the truck behind him to take the front. Not only does that allow the truck behind to actually get a bit of cooling over that radiator, something that we were talking about before, but it then allows the guy who was running out the front to then duck in and save his quota of fuel for that section of the run.
Yeah, especially if he's a teammate, you kind of want to cycle like Mark was saying, cycle each other around, and so you got about the same amount of fuel staying out front, but this too wide racing up front here with these top 9 drivers is going to go ahead and allow that 10th place and back, as long as they are in single file, to start closing them in. Right now our separation is down to 2.3 seconds from 9th to 10th. We'll see if we can close if the second pack can close in on the first.
I'm keeping an eye on it, Jimmy. It does look like they're coming.
Oh, they're coming.
I've been watching it, and it looks like they're 1-6, 1-5. They're coming fast. But these boys aren't playing.
No, they're definitely not playing. They're set on staying single file. They're set on just catching back up to the pack. They know that the early small incident that they were able to recover from kind of put them behind the 8 ball just a very little bit, but they're able to track them down, and they are gone. The gap has dissipated as the front decided to run too wide for just too long.
Well, not only that, but now with the head of steam, what are they going to do? Are they going to keep that train going? Do they want to move around to the outside? Because this looks like a 4-car train that they have going there, and they look like they are absolutely flying. But there's traffic up in the outside. Are they going to try and make a hole here?
Oh, they might be looking to make a hole there, but they're 3 wide up here in the beginning. 169 gets loose. Yellow flag here on lap 12 as the 69 was involved into an accident here, getting turned around on the backstretch. We'll go ahead and take a look at that here just momentarily as we will get a hold of Jordan Cry. I think it's Jordan Cry. Yep, here it is. We'll take oh, he's already spinning there. What is SDK doing to me? Let's go back here. There's a pile of cars. I'm just going to go ahead and manually rewind this so you can get a good look here on kind of what happened. So we're following the 69 car, kind of gets tagged by the 55, goes up into the 99, bumps to 24. Everybody has to check up. So 69 gets collected by the 55 yet again. The 3 gets collected. The 1 skirts by. The 6 gets turned. The 2 and the 55 get back together. And then the 77 goes broadside into the 55. As they are trying to collect their trucks, but it looks like everybody else is pretty scathed through most of this as our first caution comes to play here. So it happens quick at Daytona, Mark. It happens quick, and just like that, 5 drivers find themselves in a bit of a pickle with some damage that they didn't want.
Well, and here we come to the other kind of issue. How many fast repairs? Do we know how many fast repairs these guys are running tonight?
Oh, I am not sure. If you want to go ahead and see, you'll see if on the, it tells us on the info page, it might, but I'm not 100% sure. If somebody's out there from the league knows how many fast repairs that they have, don't be afraid to throw it in chat. Give us a heads up, because I'm not 100% sure. But right now, it looks like John Darnell gonna stay out, and then Jeffrey Goodpasture will be in second with Jordan Hant in third.
I'm scanning through the Discord right now, seeing if I can find
We got a lot of people taking advantage and coming in for a pit. I'm sure topping off on fuel. This will change the pit strategy up all around, especially if everybody does not come in. And I think it's a little early to take the chances of staying out. I think I would have been one of the drivers to go back in. But we all know how fast accidents can happen here at Daytona. We are on lap 14 of 100, and we are on our first caution of the night. But Don Darnell staying out, along with Jeffrey Goodpasture, Jordan Hand. We are 1, 2, 3. Then we have William Conley, David Mayo, Trent McManus, Taylor Robinson, Donald Stewart, Jeff Clifton, Chris Parkman for your top 10.
I've managed to pull up the rule book, Jimmy. I've managed to pull up the rule book.
We will investigate. We will find out.
I'm looking. Drivers will have 1 fast repair for all races. I'm not sure. Ooh, damn. That's going to be tricky around here. And now we come to the next problem. Do you take your fast repair now, or do you just go in there and take it as an optional, and hope that you can keep up with, if you still have that little bit of aero damage, and save that fast repair for later on when the big one happens? And 9 times out of 10 at Daytona there is always a big one, and it normally happens when there's about 5 to go.
I mean, it's, the gamble that you take, especially with plate track racing, as they are as close as they are and as close as they can be, and trying not to wreck each other. And you start getting braver and braver the longer you're out there, and maybe your spotter calls you clear, and in that split second, the nose of a truck comes across, and they were starting to get as that backpack caught up to that front pack. I don't think they were ready, and the run was so huge they could have, the second pack could have overtaken them. But I think some of the drivers got a little antsy there, trying to slow them down. And you can slow down a run, control the pack, up front. And I think it was just a little much and just a wrong move and way too early to maybe be that aggressive. But anyways, right now, John Darnell leading the group over Jeffrey Goodpasser and Jordan Hand in that third position.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can control that pack. You can, make that trunk just a little wider than it normally is. But this early on, it's a tough call. You don't want to lose. You don't want to lose too many positions. But this early in, we're only on. Ooh, well done. Lap. Yep. Lap 15, and you still got another, 85 left to go. Do you really want to be trying to throw that block out there? I mean, I'm not sure. But this is the joy of plate track racing. You gotta make your decision, and you gotta make it fast. And as you've just seen, everything happens, and it happens fast when you're doing 200 mile an hour.
Yeah, well, the lights are off on the pace truck right now as they head down, coming out of turn 4, heading down the tri-oval, as the 99 of John Darnell will lead the field for our second restart here. We'll see how he does, and hopefully he doesn't get set out like a sitting duck. As late tracks, he just kind of, I know a lot of tracks, a lot of people want to jump early and get a good start, but you do it on a plate track, you can get eaten up. But right now, they're in the Geico starting zone. Nice, easy start. Not too bad. I think the first 4 trucks, as long as they work together, will be sitting okay. As you can see, the 99 moving to the outside, and that's one of the tactics, is to slow that run on the outside. So he's going to keep that one behind him and get a good push. And the first 4 cars got a small lead over the rest of the pack.
And the other thing that you got to be a little careful of is that you get left out there, which happened to one of those guys. I believe it was a 25 truck. He was that group of 4, and then all of a sudden it became a group of 3 with one guy all on his own. And that can really hurt you. You got no toe, you've got nobody to give you a draft, and you just looking for a way to get back into that line, and they don't want to let you in, Jimmy. And I've been there before. You're stuck out there all on your own, and you just feel like that song, it's not good. It's not a good thing.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling, as you just kind of just watch everybody drive on by, and you're like, I can't go any faster, my foot's on the ground, and it is what it is, and these guys are having a good time. You see one driver kind of lagging behind the field just a little bit. That's the 79 of Danny White, but he got back out there, still 1 lap down, and a little bit in trouble as he's not in the draft. So I think he has about 10 to 15 laps where the 79 truck will be in danger of going another lap down, as these drivers are now 2 by 2 around here at Daytona, working on lap 17, getting ready to complete that to begin lap 18, as we are here for a total of 100 laps. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to look for, Mark, was how many green-white checkers are out there tonight.
I will pull back up the rules and have a look for you in in a brief second, but I'm just going to look over at the live chat. Xander Thompson, one fast repair coming from John Darnell. Thank you, Xander. Looks like Core Racing Network has already beat me too. Yeah,
That's me.
Core Racing Network.
That's me.
Thanks, Jimmy. Thanks. That was me. I was trying to. Damn it.
My eyes are all over the place. Triple monitors. I got the fourth monitor up top. It's kind of monitoring everything else that's going on. I'm just kind of a busy guy over here trying to get everything and think of things to say. That's why I get tongue twisted. That and I got a D in English, so it's not my favorite language. But anyways, Jordan Hand out front over William Conley, John Darnell, Bryce Shoemaker, Devin Mayo, Nick Hewer, Jeffrey Goodpasser, Jeff Clifton, Chris Parkman, Kenneth Cheney for your top 10.
That bottom row looks like it's getting itself together, Jimmy. Looks like they're just trying to get themselves into that groove. The 25 Conley looks like he's giving that 20 just a nice little push. He's tucked up right inside that little funnel behind him. I've got a funny feeling these two are going to be working together. And, it looks like they are trying to make that break.
Yeah, I mean, whether they're your teammate or not, when you're out front, you just try to do your best and work together. Try to keep the rest of the field behind you. But right now, 2 cars out front means absolutely nothing as the outside is starting to come alive. As the 0-1 of Jeff Clifton is leading that pack with the 8 of Chris Parkman to help.
Just having a look through, seeing if I can find the ruling for periodic black flags, points, and everything else. Damn it.
You see the 69 of Jordan Kreider. His truck's beat up just a little bit, but it looks like he's teamed up with the 55 as they're a little bit off pace. There's only 2 of them, but those drivers have decided probably not to take their fast repair mark, and we talked about it earlier. Whether you take it or not. So here's kind of what happens, folks. Is when you don't take your fast repair and your truck is off pace. But will this pay off for them in the long run? As cautions can happen anytime during this race. Plenty of racing. We still have 80 laps remaining as we're working on lap 21 of 100.
I just found it, Jimmy. Up to 3 green-white checkered attempts per race.
All right, so you heard it, folks. We have up to 3 green-white checkers. We know what that means. And a lot of times, some drivers don't, if there's cautions, a lot of cautions, and they're not, maybe a fuel strategy comes into play, especially for 3 green-white checker flags, which could go, up to 6 laps right there.
And the other thing that I've just called out is a fixed setup with 75% fuel load. So it's definitely going to be, it could be like even a 3-stop at this rate.
Yeah, I would imagine if I had 50% was right around 15 to 17 laps, I would going to say, I'm going to say about 40 laps will be our window. Give or take. Right? No, I'm wrong. Bad math. 25. Like 25 or so.
Yeah, 23 or 25 I would have gone with. That sounds about right. First stage will be 20 to 25 of the overall race distance. So 23, well, in that case, they should be coming through to their stage break, almost stage break time now. So it's going to be, pit lane will be closing this time round, lap 23. So pit lane will be closed and it will be a race for stage break when they cross the line at lap 25.
Oh, so in that case here, if the stage break will be at lap 25, and I totally forgot about that, Mark, because I've broadcasted so many races that don't have stage breaks. But this league does stage breaks, so at lap 25, they'll be probably throwing the caution flag. And then giving them the ability to come down, get fresh tires, and fill up their tanks to the maximum capacity that's allowed. But that also plays into a big favor for the 55 of the 69 and the 55 of Jordan Kreider and Taylor Robinson, as they'll be able to get those repairs. So staying back here, trying to decide whether they want to take a fast repair or not. This might make up their mind if they're going to continue to go green here. But you can see the field is divided in two, as it looks like back in 16th position. That's the 5. That's the 5. Where the heck's Josh Kreider? There, here he is. Josh Kreider leading the second pack. So these drivers broken up into 2 packs yet again, and like I said, knowing that there's a stage break, this is no big thing, except with the fact that they'll have a caution with that stage break. But right now, leading for the stage break win right now is Jeff Clifton and Jordan Hand battling out side by side as we work our way down the backstretch. How much do you want it?
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to be between the 20 and the 8. It's going to get close. Will the 8 get the run into the tri-oval? It's going to be close.
Oh, it's going to be really close.
I think he's got it. 20, 25 and 8 looks like to me 1, 2, 3 for the stage break.
Yeah, 20, 25 and 8 looks to be 1, 2, 3 as they are able to. Oh
no!
89! What happened? They were all clear on a caution, wrecking into turn 2. And I'm certain these drivers will not be happy with that. We'll go back and catch that to see what totally happened. But it looked like somebody just kind of drifted up. Oh, again, a little bit too early.
I think there was somebody underneath the double yellows and he just drifted up and came in. Yes, the 25.
Yeah, it looks like the 25 drifted it up into the 99, into the 76, getting into the 88. The 6 is going to dive down below. Hopefully not hitting the 77, staying clear off the 77. So yeah, the 99 to 76 and 88 being wrapped up by the 25. Those drivers will not be happy, as they might have to use their fast repair on a caution.
That looks like a biggie too. I mean, that's going to be some damage. That's going to be some big old damage to the front of some of those trucks.
Yeah, so those 3 drivers right there will not be happy. I'm sure they'll be coming down and then taking as much repairs as possible. They're even thinking about their fast repair, but it's going to change their strategy up here for the rest of the race.
Judging by the looks of it, that was William Connolly, and he. I'm looking through the messages right now, and he looks like he's been really good about it. Stuck his hands up, taken the NEOL straight from it. All credit to where it's due. I mean, and you got to respect that from some, from the drivers, and they know that they've made a mistake. It's easy a lot of the time to just, stick your hand up, take it on the chin. It was me. I'm sorry, guys. There was nothing I could do about it, or it was just a simple mistake. And okay, you get an EOL, but as we've seen, you don't need to be up the front. You can come from the back and still make it to the front, especially around here.
Yeah, Daytona is one of the few tracks, you don't need to start on the pole. Matter of fact, there's a lot of times if I ran these plate tracks and officials, you just don't qualify. But if you have a higher I rating, you end up starting in the middle of the pack anyways, so it really doesn't matter. But these guys here are doing a pretty decent job. I mean, right there, that was just accident, like you said, taking on the chin. Hey, it was my fault. Whether it was a mistake or a lack of, you ran out of talent, whatever it may be, it happens. But they're out. These guys are out here for 17 races together, and this is just one of many. The pit stops are definitely coming back to cycle as these guys are filling up the tires. Oh, it's so close, so hectic on pit lane. The 25 is looking for his pit stall, trying not to drive through too many boxes. And some leagues only allow you to drive through no more than 2 boxes. And it really does make it a little more challenging as the 38 goes sideways. And I don't know if that's how you take the one tire going on. So I kind of want to check that out. That's the 38 of Trent McMinnis here. See what happened here. Looks like he might have. He was in the pits.
He's taking tires. I see the left side's going up. Oh,
Goes out.
And then
Just too much gas
too
and
much
takes
gas.
it into the wall. Ugh. You hate
gotta
to
hate that.
see it.
Yeah, you gotta hate that. And there's nothing worse, because you know you're out there on cold tires, the truck's wheeled up, you know you feel like you're in the groove, everything's going, and then all of a sudden, whoop. And these trucks are not easy to tame. I mean, you know, they say, oh, they've got that big old wing on the back. So that's true, there is a big old wing on the back, but it's at the end of a long old piece of steel. So, I mean, you know, aero is not the high priority for a lot of these trucks. Their downforce isn't at a premium.
Yeah, I mean, you want every single downforce that you get. Some trucks still electing to come in and top off. Not a bad strategy. And, you know, something that I would probably do as the lights are now off on the pace truck. So this will be the final lap, getting ready to go back to green. We're currently working on lap 29 of 100. We'll still have 72 laps remaining here as a Melvin Berdinger out front with Chris Parkman, Grayson Lucas, Brian Underwood, Dylan Carrier, Nick Hewer, David Mayo, Lee Bailey, Josh Kreider, and Trent McManus for your top 10.
I'm just going to flick over to the live chat. Barry Kissler. How you doing, Barry? Good to see you again, buddy. Good racing so far. Don't know who to pick for the win yet. You know what? I'm kind of with you, fella. I mean, I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. It seems to be a very closely fought run and a very closely fought league. I mean, I think at this point, it's impossible to tell who's going to win this. And I think that bodes well for the league in general.
Yeah, it's up in the air for pretty much anybody right at the moment. We've seen a few drivers get out front and lead this thing. A few drivers have mistakes and get sent to the rear. You know, are they going to be able to make up for those mistakes or repairs and get their trucks back out front to lead this thing? But right now, it's all Melvin.
Yeah, very, very true. I'm trying to look down the list. I'm looking for the 25 because I'm sure that he had an EOL and that he's going to have to be starting from the back of the pack, but I cannot see him out here. There he is in 14th.
The 25 of William Conley, and he might have got the EOL, but it depends on when they gave it to him. You know, so if the driver, yeah,
these guys have painted in after him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did get an EOL. I can see it up there. So now, you probably watch out for that 25 because I think he's going to be a little miffed that he made that mistake, and he's not going to want to be in that mid pack. To be honest, plate tracks, I really don't like being in the mid-pack myself. I either want to be at the front or I want to be right at the very back, because in that mid-pack, that's where you get, for me, I think that's where you get the closest racing. You know, because you got guys around you there, everybody's shuffling for a better position. I don't want to be involved with that when I do this kind of stuff.
And there's the 25 on the inside of the 99, and definitely looked like he was giving him just a little bit more room than what he was when the caution came out. And we're just going to keep that story going. So we're going to look for William and John Darnell to have some rivalry going, as the early incidents will show that they like to get together. But right now, it's the 77 of Brian Underwood leading this thing over the 8 of Chris Parkman, as it looks like Chris Parkman is just edging out Brian just a little bit for that last lap. So we will see how these guys all kind of fall into place. That's plate track racing. Mark, I broadcasted a race the other night doing plate track racing. It was 50 laps at Talladega. I think they were only running on 50% fuel. But it went green from start to finish, and these guys they would come in all at once to the pits with no incidents. It was wild. It was the best thing I've seen on iRacing in like such a long time. Like every time they'd come in, I think somebody would have, maybe they didn't get slowed down enough and get a penalty or something like that. So like the lead pack just kept getting smaller and smaller, but they had to do green flag pit stops. And I think the last one, I think there was like a total of 15 drivers that were basically in position to win, unless the caution came out. But that's how it finished. And just like after green flag stopped, after green flag stopped, they'd keep losing somebody. But right now, Chris Parkman and Brian Underwood battling back and forth, just kind of leading top and bottom lane as the trucks behind them are kind of just falling into place. Plenty of racing to go here. We're on lap 32 of 100, folks.
Yeah, you were talking about Parkman and Lucas there working together really well as a team. Lucas just giving Parkman just a little bit of, there it goes, that little bit of shove, just gives him that little bit of momentum just to push him up there, keep him up there with that lead pack. Lucas just being so careful. Sorry, Parkman being very careful, just running around the outside, not getting too close to the guys down behind him. I think this is some good stuff. These two working really well together.
Yeah, keeping my eyes on that 57 of Jason Freites as I seen him kind of make his way through the middle of the pack there and taking position, falling behind the 99 currently, but looking to maybe move the 57 to the front to get some airtime. Well, I see you, Jason. I got your number, buddy. I'm watching you work your magic as you come up through the field. Also, the one there getting a great run behind that 77.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that you got to be so careful about here. If you do get that good run, and it is entirely possible, we've just seen from that number one truck to get that absolutely epic run. You've got to be careful of the overspeed on the guy in front of you. It's so easy to get that real good run going, and then just not ease off in time. And
they're gonna wreck around right in front of Jeffrey or Darnell. Oh no, another big one here. Yellow out. Looks like David Mayo, Jeff Clifton, and Josh Kreider all kind of wrapped up in that one here. We'll take a look as the 3 bumps into the 6. 35, nowhere to go, but getting on the brakes. 77, nowhere to go. 38, nowhere to go. The 9 avoiding what he can. The 69, the 5. Don't look like he touched anybody, so he might have just locked up the brakes and might need a new set of tires. But the 5 lives to go another day. Oh, what a mess. So you have David Mayo, Jeff Clifton, Josh Kreider, Bryce Shoemaker, Trent McManus, Grayson Lucas, Trent McManus again, and then Jeff Clifton, Josh Kreider again. And I think it's just there. Then SDK is just picking up as these guys are just checking up to avoid the wreck. And a lot of times, SDK will notice it as like a wreck because of the sudden change of speed. But all Josh did there was just to get on the brakes, avoid the mess, and keep that truck going so he could possibly get up front and win this thing. So another caution here plagues the league as we are now currently on lap 35 of 100.
That's a tough call. And all of this stuff is now going to start to play. This is exactly what I thought was going to happen. You're going to have a certain group of guys who are going to want to stay out on track. They're going to stay out in front. And now you're going to have guys that are going to come in, they're going to top up tanks, which is going to put them off strategy to the rest of the field when it comes to pit stop now. So you're playing a game. Now, do you think that you can go to do you have a pit strategy worked out where you think you can make less stops than the guy behind you? Or are you just happy with the way that the car's running and you want to leave the car out there? Or it looks like these guys are working together.
That's going to be Collier teammates right there. And then I think if you look, you just kind of scan Discord, you can just kind of see who's in there. There'll be Jason Freites, Landon Burgage, and Dylan Collier as a team right there. So the 24 to 57 and the 2. Then you have Stewart racing out there with Donald Stewart and Farrell Robbins. Let's see what else we see in a chat. A bunch of people have moved to the Hangout, so maybe they're not in teams, or they decided to just let's work together and get this race finished and get some green flag racing underneath our belt here, as it is very early on. And I think Leon had it, said it best when he told these guys to start their engines. It's going to be hot out there, and it'll take some patience. So, can't thank Leon enough for giving those little bit of words and wisdom, and obviously the start your engines for these gentlemen here tonight. But right now we are on lap 36 of 100, and just give a little shout out to the fans out there that are watching. I appreciate everybody that comes out to see their drivers out here and do their thing. If you got a driver that you want to see where they're at, or you want me to change the camera to them for a bit, don't be afraid to shoot it out in chat. Try to monitor chat as much as possible. Also, thank everybody for showing up, and we'll be here for the 17 weeks here with the league, with the Premium Stock Car Racing League. So don't be afraid to give us that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the bell for notifications, as PSCRL is not the only thing that CRN covers. We run 12 different broadcasts a week. So if you like to watch racing by noveltists that in iRacing, feel free to come out and join and watch. There's a lot of the leagues that we broadcast put on great races like you're seeing here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, Jimmy. A full schedule for all of us over here at Cool Racing Network. I just wish I could get involved more, but I'm a busy man, and I try getting what I can. But I will say, I do watch nearly every single one of the broadcasts, and you gotta love iRacing for that. They do put on some absolutely phenomenal events, and you look at it back in more than one occasion, you do think to yourself, this could almost be real. Not graphically wise, because some of it does look a little bit, but some of the racing that you found here, and it's really, not some of the racing here tonight, you do think to it, and you're like, I've seen similar situations to this in the real life stuff. It does ring true.
Well, yeah, it does ring true, as the league here was hanging out earlier, watching the race together, as I'm not quite sure who the winner was, because I had some things going on as I was making dinner for the family. But right now, Dylan and Jason will lead the field here as the pace truck is getting ready to come in, as we just got off turn 4, heading down to the tri-oval. The pace truck is in, and they are getting ready to go green here. We're in the Geico restart zone as we get a nice little start, but it looks like the 57, a little better start than the 24, but they're going to kind of work together as they are on the same team, or they'll just get ran over. So they're going to hold up the field just a little bit, as that one of Jeffrey Goodpasture looking to maybe get that Exide 1 out front. So we're going to have the 57 go down to the inside, which is probably a good move, as the 1 had a pretty good run going.
Yeah, that one looked like he got a little bit got a little loose as he was moving out the slipstream of the car in front, and that can tend to happen because the aero balance changes dramatically. But that 1 and that 8, they look like they are absolutely on a mission. Swifty for the boot, and look who's back. Connolly in the 25 just happens to come from mid-pack, was to make his way back up to the front again.
Yeah, and and a lot of people, some people are more comfortable running out front, some are running more in the back, looking to go 3 wide here in the not too far back, and it looks like the 70s, the 76 though, 17 of Nick Hewer. I think I called him the 77 earlier, so I apologize as I learned everybody's paint schemes and colors and names. Obviously, the 55 will look into the inside, as the 17 is giving a little bit of a gap there, not doing much side drafting. But they're almost 4 wide as they come down the backstretch.
And what this has given is just a little bit of impetus to the guys who that little 4 group are running out front. But with they seem to be trying to make the breakaway. They can't. These guys need to get themselves sorted out behind them and not let that happen, because if that happens, then we could be back in the same situation that we had last time.
Yeah, they can happen. These trucks can hook up and go, but they have to stay nose to tail. If the truck's behind them, start going too wide, like you see here with the 24.99. It's not that they're gonna lose them really fast, but they're just gonna, the front is gonna slowly start walking away. 24.99 about kissed each other. Coming out of turn 2. It looks like the 69 is gonna go down off the apron, allow a few cars to pass by, so he probably not in a comfortable situation there. But the 55, 76, and 55 now fall in a single line, followed by the 1 of Jeff Clifton.
Yeah, that 76 tucked in really tight behind. But it looks like he's going to be getting a good push. This is what you need now to be able to pull up to the group in front. You just need that guy to share that aero. You need him to tuck him behind, give you a little push as you get down onto the straight, just tuck you up, get you into the slipstream on the guy behind, and there he comes.
And so that one of the X-side, it gets out front, so Jeffrey Goodpaster putting the X-side machine out front as they fan out behind him. You guys watch how fast everybody closes up on that one, but it looks like enough trucks have gone to the outside to hopefully get a run going, but lost their momentum as the inside is getting to kind of pull away and leave those 3 trucks behind.
Yeah, training in that 76 looked like he had an absolutely stonking run going around the outside, but sorry?
No, the 55 just got a little squirrely going on the apron just a little bit, just kind of hugging it a little bit too much. These trucks get really unsettled, hitting that apron, and it can really make things go bad, as if you hit the apron wrong, it will shoot you up the track. But the 55 was able to keep control and not cause any incidents here. So but the field is starting to spread out just a little bit, Mark, as I think up front they're trying to, I think some of the guys want to get to the front, but they get to out to the outside and they just lose momentum.
Yeah, there's a little bit of people just trying to find their groove down there on their inside. You can see that truck just moving around just a little. Again, there's a little bit of aero wash, and sometimes that can unsettle some of these trucks. But up in the outside, it looks like Connolly and Freights started trying to pull that train together and seeing if they could work together and pull themselves up to the front.
Yeah, they're going to do what they can to get that outside running. I think it's just going to take a little bit of side drafting, but side drafting can be shaky. As the one gets a little bit loose there, so ends up getting skirted to the outside, and that looks a little bit shifty. It's going to hold up that 25 of William Connolly, almost getting into it there. So 25 definitely kissing the rear bumper of the one. The 8 getting wiggly to 57. Hold on to her, boys. Just lift up just a little bit, but good save by the 8 of Chris Park.
That was a biblical save. That was 100. Just look at that. That was 180 mile an hour wiggle there, and you do not want to be wiggling these trucks at 180 mile an hour.
I'll go ahead and pull up the dashboard to kind of give you an idea how fast these drivers are going here tonight. 181 miles an hour. Coming out of turn 2, and then you'll see them go down the backstretch in the draft, and then we'll go to somebody that's not in the draft here. I'll just kind of show you kind of the difference.
186, 189,
189 going into turn 3.
Wow. In a truck. 189.
Yep, and then we'll go back here to the 45. I think he's solo, so Keith Shoemaker kind of by himself. And you can see the difference, Mark. He's 170 by himself. I think that's about max as he comes across the tri-oval. He might hit 171 or 172. We'll kind of ride along with Keith here. As a matter of fact, we'll just go ahead and go, and I think I have the cockpit lined up. I'll go to gyro and show you the banking.
Look how steep that is. That's crazy.
Yeah, something you don't see even like when you're driving. It doesn't seem that much, but it is huge. But you can see here with Keith being by himself solo down the backstretch, only 171 miles an hour going into turn 3, vice the 189 mark.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's 20 miles an hour. 20 mile an hour you're losing by not being in the draft of the guy in front. And that just goes to show just how important being in that groove is, how important being in that pack and how much that can actually help you get around the track. So when you're not in that pack and you've got your foot flat on the floor trying to stay with them, you are using so much more fuel because you're all on your own. Whereas a lot of these guys, when they're coming down the straight, they're having to back off. They're not full down on the gas. They're having to lift and time where they come off the gas, maybe just the smallest little fraction of brake just to try and scrap a bit of speed off so they don't run into the guy in front. There's I know it's plate track racing, but there's still a whole lot that goes into it.
Yeah, that, and it's a lot of chess, especially towards the end. Right now it's about surviving, not getting into the guys around you, taking advantage if you want to be out front, or just doing the draft thing, like you're talking about. You get behind somebody and you just ride. And you can't win a championship if you're out of the race. So you can just do your best and finish. And a lot of times that I've heard from several drivers, you win your championships on your bad nights.
Yeah, absolutely. To finish first you was finished.
Right now, we are on lap 47 of 100. Jeff Clifton out the lead over William Conley. Donald Stewart in third over Kenneth Cheney. Farrell Robbins, Chris Parkman, Jason Freitas, Grayson Lucas, John Darnell, and David Mayo for your top 10. And 11th, you have Lee Bailey, Nick Hewer, Dylan Carrier, Jeffrey Goodpasser, Noah Blackwell, Bryce Shoemaker, Brian Underwood, Jordan Hand, Josh Kreider, Jordan Kreider, Trent McManus, Keith Schumacher, Tyler Robinson, Melvin Bergniger, both at 2 laps down. So only looks like two trucks out. Landon Burbage and Danny White out for, it looks like, the evening. And Landon's not totally out as he's just sitting in the pits, but 21 laps down. But Taylor and Melvin fighting for the lucky dog position there right now, Mark.
Yeah, you want that. You really do want that, because that will bring you back onto the lead lappers himself. And I'll learn to speak in a minute, if a yellow comes out. And judging by there's a little bit of wind. Don't go down on the...
Oh, that was the one.
Sure.
Good save there by the one.
You do not want to be getting below the apron. You do, because as you've seen from how severe the banking is, when that car comes back onto the track and when you try to get back onto that banking, it throws the car for an absolute loop. It's really hard to try and keep it to go back straight again, and I think that's probably put him too far out of the pack now to be able to catch back up.
Yeah, unfortunately, that dropped them out of the draft, so the one's going to lose the lead pack as they continue to drive away. He's going to have to fall back to the second pack, and hopefully he has enough momentum not to get lost out of that pack. Could be strategy, like, hey, let me go pick up my buddies back there, but obviously they're about quarter track behind right now. But right now, the one is back out front of Jeff Clifton, and then William Conley in the 25 hanging around up front. So William Conley doing a great job of keeping that 25 truck up front even after his EOL.
Yeah, very, very true. Just looking over, we're reaching the halfway point, lap 50, just crossing the line now to lap 51, just to click away. So we are now halfway through this race with Farrell Robbins out front, Jeff Clifton, Grayson Lucas, Jason Freitas, Kenneth Cheney, David Mayer, Chris Parkman, Donald Stewart, Darren Carrier, all out there for the top 10 so far.
Yeah, these drivers are doing a pretty good job right now cleaning up what happened earlier. And like I said, their second caution was actually under caution. So, yeah, not something they wanted, I'm sure, but doing a good job here so far. Track is hot. And I think what might be hotter is actually sitting in their rig and trying to get around here safely.
Yeah, I'm sweating a little just watching, Jimmy. I'm not going to lie. I'm already perspiring quite heavily because there's a couple.
Oh, there's an accident! That is Grayson Lucas getting sideways in the front of the field, pulling out another caution. Why didn't it say he wrecked? So we're gonna go ahead and rewind that manually here for you, so you can kind of see what happened with Grayson Lucas here in the front, as we had a heck of an accident, collecting a few drivers here. We'll slow it down, move to the let's see, go to the blimp so you get a better look here. So the 6, maybe just too much of a shove from the 57. No, it looks like he was all right, but tried to slide back up in front of the 57. There it is. So the 57 just catching the rear bumper of the 6 down into the 1, and down into the 25 again. And here's a spot here. This is where it becomes difficult. So the 6 is out of control, and he's sliding down below. And, you know, I don't know if he's trying to lock it down a little bit, but the 3 gets into the 6, which sends the 3 sideways. A lot of drivers still catching up here. Looks like the 17 is going to ride high there. Let's see. That's Bailey right there.
There's nothing you can do. If you're the 3 right there, you're in no man's land. The guy's just come from the bottom. He's just swung up in front of you. You've got nowhere to go. You can put the brakes on, and you know, sometimes that's the play. Sometimes you just slam the brakes on. But especially with plate track racing, oh no!
Yeah, just doing a replay here. I don't know, the 57 getting into the 1. Not quite sure what happened there, or even why it happened. So, 57 getting into the 8 after rear-ending the 1 and almost taking out the 99 there. So I'm sure he'll hear something here in the through the admins, as they been doing a pretty good job keeping these guys under hold here. 24 just kind of slowing up, making sure nobody gets into anybody else here.
And this is another issue that you have when the yellow comes out, is you've got a group of cars out front. The yellow's been taken. They want to slow down. They want to try and conserve. You've got the rest of the pack coming back at you at full tilt, at full speed, and lo and behold, all of a sudden, a slow car meets absolutely, steaming truck, and that's the result.
Yeah, it's that's not. Sometimes it's like, the drivers really need to pay attention to kind of like what's going on, and when the caution flag goes out, it's really just maintaining your spot, and you want to catch back up so you get back in the pits or get repairs done, etc. But you really got to keep control of those vehicles to not get into anybody, as they don't have the best brakes. Believe it or not, they don't. Something that goes almost 200 miles an hour, it feels like when you hit the brakes, it feels like you're just pushing a bunch of mush, and you're just hoping that your vehicle slows down.
If you've ever driven a really early Toyota Starlet or something like that, then that's what the brakes feel like, because it just feels like you hit the pedal, and then you're waiting and waiting and waiting, and wait a minute, I can see the speeder coming down. There we go. That's what's happening, and that's what these trucks feel like. You hit the brakes and you wait, and then there it goes. There we go. We're starting to slow down. Yeah, your emergency stop is not going to be possible in one of these.
Yeah, so as these drivers are going down getting repairs here, just run down what kind of tracks we got going on. So next week we're going to head from Daytona out to Las Vegas. So we're going to go and do, I believe, 150 laps at Vegas. So that should be a chore there. And then we're going to go head over to Dover on the 12th of August for 200 laps. And then out to Eldora. And then Pocono, Nashville Super Speedway, a Dega doubleheader, 45 laps apiece, a New Hampshire for 200 laps, a Charlotte for 200 laps, a Phoenix night for 200 laps, and then Atlanta for 150. So that'll be our first 11 rounds of racing. Then that will take them into the Chase, which the first round will be the Auto Club, and then North Wilkesboro, and then Watkins Glen and Daytona night for the second round, and then the Third round will be Homestead, and then the finale, which will be the 18th of November. Well, the Premier Stock Car Racing League will wrap up at Iowa.
Nice. Well, good to see a couple of night races in there. I do like a bit of night racing. It should make things real interesting. Let's just say that. Let me just flick over to the live chat. Looks like Barry is going for William Connolly for the win tonight. Barry has spoken, so therefore William must now win. Otherwise, I'm afraid he's going to be in trouble with Barry, and nobody wants to be in trouble with Barry.
Yeah, those that are new to CRN, Barry is, I think, CRN's biggest supporter, as he's in every single broadcast. I think he has multiple accounts, and so he can see everybody racing. It's awesome. I love Barry in the chat. He likes to talk. He gives us picks, and a lot of times he's right, ladies and gentlemen. So if you got your favorite pick out there, don't be afraid to put it in chat, share it with everybody. We'll give them a good old shout out, follow them as they work their way around here tonight and any night. But right now, Farrell Robbins will lead these trucks down through the Geico start zone as he takes that number 4 for the first time here tonight out front.
Jimmy, can we please get a quick look at the front of the number 8?
The number 8, Chris Parkman. And it looks like he's missing the front clip.
Yeah. I did see that, and I was slightly concerned as to how that was going to work. And I think, as we can see, it's not working that well.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a truck modified class out there yet in iRacing, but it might be something that they want to look into, as Chris Parkman has given him a test here at Daytona so far tonight. Definitely down lots of power. And hopefully he has a fast repair, as that 8 machine is going to be going down and out early, as he was one of the front runners here early but getting wrapped up. So that front left tire looks horrible, Mark.
Yeah, the front left is up. Yeah, it looks like it's at an absolute angle. But I think the fact that he's literally got no front clip on that car at all, his aero is going to be absolutely trash. It's like having a giant parachute at the front of your car, and that is really not what you want.
I was right on board with Jeffrey good pasture here, as he is getting close to the 88. I love the roof cams. It's one of my favorite cams that I've installed on the cars. That kind of gives you an idea where the truck is. You can kind of see the distance a little bit, but how close they get, and you can just kind of see, he's just kind of laying off, just ever so little bit from Blackwell, because you don't want to push, just in case he ends up pushing the pusher of Stewart. Right now, Stewart is pushing Farrell Robbins in the 4 in the Bush truck, and we'll go ahead and move to that 14. You can kind of see a little bit how close the 14 gets. Right now, he's backed off. They're in the corner, but as they go around the corner here, coming off of turn 2, he should be tucking up tight into that 4 and give him a shove all the way down the backstretch. But you have to do it nice and easy. Line it up. Hold your line, you can see him wiggle a little bit, and when those two drive, and that's about as much as he can push. He can't get on his bumper of the 4, because if he does, Farrell Robbins will go ahead and end up wrecking. But that's what you want to do. You want to get up there, and there you can see right now he's going to give him a little push across the start-finish line. Keep him out front there, as Farrell Robbins continues to lead here at lap 59 of 100. So over halfway. Right now, Farrell Robbins out front with Donald Stewart pushing, then the 88-24, the 88 of Noah Blackwell, and then Dylan Kager out there looking to make a run at things here. So it keeps mixing up on us here a little bit, Mark. There hasn't really been a full consistency of who's really out front.
No. And it looks like it says on my list that Carrier is the 51, but it looks like he's got the 24 inside of that truck. So I think that's an iRacing issue. I believe I saw him in the Discord earlier saying that there was some kind of issue that he was not showing the correct number on iRacing for him. So yeah, but it looks like him and Goodpaster are running that outside and working well together, keeping pace with keeping pace with the guys on the bottom row, just making it work for them. And yeah, that should be interesting. I'm curious to see whether or not they can keep this up.
I'm gonna see if I fix that. Well, you keep talking there a little bit. I'm just gonna see if I can, at least so we can fix the actual drivers here.
Robbins and Stewart running down the inside as well, with Carrier and Goodpaster still running that outside. It's going to be, looks like Carrier's had enough of that outside, drops down onto the inside, but he hasn't left Goodpaster on his own. Who's that behind? I cannot see the number for the minute. Get a bit closer. It's on the 38 of McManus now, just dropping onto the back of Goodpaster, and looks like these two are now going to take that outside and see if they can make it work with the 77 of Underwood in tow.
So of all the things that I can override, I can't override the car number?
Wow, SDK, what are you doing to us? How dare you?
I'm still looking. There's a little bit to the right here. No, it looks like I can't override the number. That's one thing I won't be able to change. I can change his name, but I can't change his number, as that's an iRacing thing here tonight. So it'll have to be fixed internally by the league. But in either case, that doesn't matter. Oh wow, I didn't mean to do that. But anyways, Jeffrey Goodpaster out front in the 1. So getting that X side back up front after having an oopsie there as he caught the apron, but you can see that he was able to get it back out front. The 38 on the outside of Trent McManus, as we've seen him have trouble in the pits earlier on. And then Brian Underwood's in 3rd. Dylan Carrier is in 4th. Taylor Robinson 55. Oh, they cleaned it up.
Goodpaster looked like he had a little bit of a heavy shove there from Underwood. Might have got that back end just a little loose, but pulls it back and gets it back in the line now. This outside line really needs to start working together, because otherwise that inside line is going to start forming that line, and then they're going to make the break with there's only a little 3-car train up on that outside line.
Yeah, somebody eventually might go up there and help them out, but they're doing a pretty good job. If the 38-77 can keep the side draft of the 1 and the 24, they shouldn't have too much of an issue. As a 38 come down just a little bit heavy there. Maybe try looking at that gap behind the 24, but unable to be called clear as one of the drivers is down in the pit lane. So either looks like Grayson Lucas in the 6 is going to head down in the pit lane, as he is now 4 laps down. David Mayo is a lap down, and Melvin Bergniger is still 1 lap down, as he has been fighting all evening trying to get his lap back. But Jeffrey Goodpaster doing a good job leading, and this looks like that 8 truck is on that outside and is going to finally go 1 lap down.
Surely if he'd have known, if he'd have had a fast repair and left, he'd already been in and fixed that car up, because he's going to be in serious trouble now, because it looks like these guys are now getting themselves into some kind of order. They're starting to learn who they can run around and where they need to be on the track, and it looks like they're getting themselves well organised now. That bottom line forming up, and those 2 guys, Goodpaster and led by Goodpaster on the outside, still trying to make that outside line work.
Yeah, the inside line's got it together pretty good. Some of the guys kind of go on the outside. It is where you can get your move. It is where you can get the draft to make your way back up to the front. But we'll go ahead and slide on back just a little bit far. We'll ride along with Bryce Shoemaker in the 84 as he's on the outside. Looks like right behind. Who is that? What is behind? That is the 29, I believe.
I'm just trying to catch a brief glimpse myself.
No, excuse me, the 69. No, 20. No, it's a 20. Man, I'm gonna get to all these paints sooner or later. So the 84 pushing, yeah, the 84 pushing the 20 of a Jordan hand, but right on the outside there. I'm gonna go ahead and hop on board top of his truck, as he is one of the looks like one of the sponsored trucks out there with the Firestorm Racing, as they are kind of hooked up together. They have a long way to go to get back up to the front. So hopefully they can continue this run and get around the rest of the field. Ooh, hand slowing up just a little bit, going down to the inside. Not quite sure. I think they've taken the opportunity, and maybe they're looking at, you know, coming in the pits early. You know, this might be in a time where, you know, they're starting to get in that realm of, you know, another few laps. They're wanting to come in, and then they can make it all the way. You know, it could be something like that, or they just know that they see some lap cars coming up in front of them, or slower cars on the top side, as you see Goodpasture going by the 38 and the outside there. So the 1 and the, man, I can't move around so much.
That's Dylan Cryer, who's registering as a 51 out here, but it's actually the 24 on his truck. But now this was going to bring me to another little section I was going to ask you about, Jimmy. Now we're starting to get into the realms of fuel strap and working out how you're going to get into in the pit lane. Are you now starting to look for that gap on that inside line so that you can actually make it into the pit lane, or are you just going to hope that a gap opens up on your inside?
It really depends on who you're around. If your teammate's down to the inside, they might let you in, or lift up just a little bit, let you come down in. Or they can let you know that they're going in now, as he had a 38 and a 77 dive down to the inside of the 1 of Jeffrey Goodpasture to take that lead, and leaving a few drivers out on that outside. But I think it's the 99's up there pushing. Who is that he's pushing? I think that's Trent. Nope, the 77, which is Brian Underwood. The 99 and the 77 hooking up yet again with the 55, trying to follow closely behind. A little bit more weight weaving on. Oh, the 77 goes around into the wall off of turn 2.
I think that looked like a shove, not a deliberate shove, but it looked like he just got a bit pushed into the back. That's what it looked like to me, just for the brief second that I saw, because that back end came right round.
Yeah, it could have been just a closer shove than normal, getting used to each other, doing what they do, and it looks like just a little off center as he pushes the...
Yeah.
So getting the 77 down to 38, bounces off the 38, back in the 99, so his mistake becomes his own incident, and the 55 is able to avoid those two. See the 77 kind of holding it up on the wall for a good portion of time, but then just finally starts losing control of the car. Oh, the 88, does he miss? Oh, no. Just tags him. So the 77 collecting the 99, and the 88 just ever so much. And I want to go back and rewind that and then hop on board with the 88 off the nose and kind of see what he was seeing. Gotta find him. 88 Noah Blackwell off the nose. So you can see up here as he's fighting, he looks to stay away from the damage. The 77 is going backwards. And then watch this, ladies and gentlemen. There's nowhere for him to go. 77 is down in front of him, and he just ever so tight touches him with the front bumper. So pretty good job there by Noah. It could have been a lot worse where he T-boned him and destroying his truck, but I'm sure now he has a little bit of damage. And I'll go ahead and just verify that by going to our rear chase camera. And you can see there on the front left of his truck, just a little bit of damage, but hopefully it's not enough to affect him, or at least be able to maintain that draft. As we're starting to get in the later laps of the race here, Mark. We're currently on lap 71 of 100, 29, 30 laps remaining basically. So You know, this is the point where people are starting to think fuel and can we go that long without getting in an incident and things like that. So right now the drivers have been out on track for about an hour and 20 minutes or so, and with 30 laps to go, so they're still looking at least 30 minutes, you know, 29 to 30 minutes, about 20 to 25 minutes of racing still remaining if they went green. So we'll see if they can make it, you know, to the end here on a green flag stop. But the 77 definitely has some damage there, and I think he doesn't have a fast repair, or he's really just trying to take as much damage as possible, as it is getting later in the game, and people's I think nerves start getting the better of them, as now they've been in the car for about an hour and 20 minutes or so. They've been close racing for this whole time, and the smallest things are going to start to like just kind of pick at you and get under your skin just a little bit. So here's where the mental aspect of it comes down to racing, and I think these guys are going to do a good job in trying to finish this thing up as clean as possible, as always. But right now the 24 or on the 51 on our tower of Dylan Carrier is out front in the lead over Kenneth Cheney, which we haven't talked much about, so being kind of quiet in that 76 Chick-fil-A machine. And then Jeffrey Goodpasture finding his way in the third place. Farrell Robbins, talked about him a little bit earlier as he was leading in the Bush machine, is in fourth place, and Donald Stewart is in fifth. Taylor Robinson is in sixth, and Trent McManus is in seventh. Nick Hewer's in eighth. Jordan Ryder is in ninth, and William Conley is back in 10th. So right now it looks like our biggest mover of the race so far is and has been for quite a while now is Jeffrey Godpasture, as he is up 22 positions. This is one of those tracks though, Mark, you could start in the back and you look awesome when you get the plus numbers that you've moved up, because you worked your way to the front from the back.
Yeah, as you were talking about earlier, Jimmy, I wouldn't say it's easy to do, because nothing's easy around here. You have to take the fight for every single position that you make, but it's doable. You know, there's a lot of the tracks where if you're left out, or if you're at the back of the pack trying to make your way through the pack, can be incredibly difficult. But at least here at Daytona, it is possible. You can get that good run, and you can make a couple of spots in a straight, and you know, as long as you can tag onto the guy who's running in front of you, and you can get him to pull you around for a bit and make those slipstream passes, it is possible to make up good positions here. But we're getting close. You know, we're just gonna lap 72. It's getting to that time now, and as you were alluding to the fuel aspect earlier, what do you want to do? I mean, I'm kind of licking my lips here. I'm doing the maths in my head. I'm like,
I know. Yeah, I know as much as you, and maybe a person to ask out there is Mr. Kevin Foster. What would you do in this situation? As plenty of laps remaining, 75% fuel, lap 72 of 100, going green here for another time as Dylan Carrier leads the field with Kenneth Cheney and Jeffrey Goodpasture.
If they can only make the 23 to the 25 that we've been thinking about, then they're not going to make it. Which means that they're either going to have to pit with like 2 or 3 to go and then make a mad dash for the line, which always ends up well. That was heavy sarcasm, just in case you didn't pick that up. They're gonna run in as soon as that little fuel calc that they've all got, that I presume that they've all got running or should have running, and back of the head tells them you can make it to the end. There's just going to be a mass exodus in the pit lane while everybody grabs enough fuel to make it to the end.
And this is where you're going to find out who your friends are, who your teammates are, and are you on the same pit strategy. If that's the case, well, right now we're riding on board with Donald Stewart in the 14 Looking back on the field here, as you can see, the outside line kind of falling by the wayside. The inside, it's got pretty good motivation and just a run right now, as the guys on the outside are definitely falling back. I don't know if that's a strategy or, you know, something that you're talking about early, as maybe they want to pit when they hit the window, and that way they know they are done. But again, going on kind of the track record just here just a little bit, as you know, we've had a few cautions here, so you know, are they gonna have to run those extra laps for the extra green white checkers? Are we gonna go into overtime here tonight? But right now, the guy that doesn't want to go into overtime, he wants to keep the lead that he has, is Dylan Carrier out front, with Jeffrey Goodpasser in second, Donald Stewart here on third, Farrell Robbins in fourth, Trent McManus in fifth, Kenneth Cheney in sixth, Josh Kreider in seventh, Taylor Robinson in 8th, Jordan Hand in 9th, and Lee Bailey in the top 10. So anything could change here. Still a lot of time for the top 18, as they are all on the lead lap. Still Melvin Bergenhauer still a lap down. There's that outside line there. You can see as the 20 is starting to hook up there, and that would be Jordan Hand bringing that outside line alive, but only him and one other of that 77. So the 77 he probably used his fast repair, or just knows that he needs to be tucked up behind another truck, and he's going to push his tail off in order to get that truck around here.
Yeah, very true. Very, very true. They've got that outside line absolutely working. And
actually, that's Brian. That's Brian Underwood, and he's a couple laps. He's 2 laps down.
Is he really?
Yeah. So the 77 is 2 laps down. He's not even in this fight. He's just out there pushing the 20. So, you know, if you're a teammate of the 77, might want to get up there and around, as Brian, I'm sure, will be looking to. If he can't win it, have one of his teammates win it. But right now he's pushing the 29 of, I think, who's that? Is that Jordan Hand? Jordan Hand is a 20. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah, I'm just looking
Yep, Jordan Hand. Yep, yeah. Jordan Hand finally out front there in one of the Firestorm racing trucks. You know, and that's you know, help there by Brian Underwood. So it's a little gift there for the number 20 to get out there, as Brian is looking to get one of his laps back, and he'll do it right here, being in front of the leader. But the only problem is he can't get all the way back around without a caution.
No. But this will be a good position for him if he can make that work. This will be, I mean, okay, he's 2 laps down, and the lucky dog at the moment is Melvin Behringer. So, but you know, he's on YouTube, and he's been looked at by us 2 lovely gentlemen. I mean, you know, what other reason would there be run out of front?
Yeah, right. And then you got Melvin back here. He's been doing a great job, and I just don't know if he's just not catching the lucky dog. But I thought he'd be back in the lead lap by now. But must be just losing it at a certain point, or maybe getting tangled up, or it slows up too much and it causes like an incident, and so iRacing doesn't give it back. So here's to Melvin. I hope that you get your lap back and get back on the lead lap, as you've shown that. Basically all night, you know, he's been in this position.
To quote a friend of ours, man's got pace.
He's definitely.
You know, 79 laps in, still 21 to go. Things I would imagine now are starting to get a little tense up in that front pack. And some of these guys are going to be starting to look down at their fuel calcs. They're going to be starting to look at the guys around them. They're going to start thinking, you know, I'm going to need to start making moves here. I need to be up the front.
77 just at the apron, just ever so little bit, and you know, maybe not very noticeable here on camera. I mean, we kept I've raced this track many times, so I know what that feels like, to just hit that little bit of apron and then come back up, and your vehicle be upset. And that was a good save there by the 77 as he moves to the high side away from the apron. 55 getting a little uneasy there behind the one. Maybe trying to line it up for a good push off of exit 2, or maybe look to pass. But it looks like who's back there in that green machine? I think that's the 3, right?
Yeah. Number 3. Lee Bailey.
I'm just gonna go to a different. I'm gonna go back here to far chase. Kind of go back to Lee Bailey. Kind of up back behind. Kind of see what's going on in front of them. Looks like they have a blinker up front. Jordan Hand, which can become difficult to pass when you don't know where somebody's at.
Oh, did you hear the engine rise? Did you hear those revs rise as he got into the toe of the guy behind him? Looks like he's been just trying to back out, just trying to keep that distance nice and safe. He just want to stay in the groove. He doesn't want to pull out. You just want to kind of stay in that groove, see what happens, see what pans out. But just try and be safe. You're only on lap 81. You've still got 19 laps to go. You don't want to be pushing too hard. Not yet. Not quite yet.
Still plenty of racing left, even with 3 or 4 laps, there's actually quite a bit of racing left here at Daytona. It's just one of those longer tracks. It's fun to drive like this. It can get very stressful, obviously you're real close.
There's one on the outside.
Oh, we'll go back to good pasture here as they were 3 wide momentarily as Jeffrey decided to let up just a little bit, obviously losing that momentum, so he's going to tuck down to the inside, let that 76 Chick-fil-A machine of Kenneth Chaney kind of get by there. But you can just kind of see how the trucks are how unstable they are in the draft. And you think it's easy to go in a straight line. you really do think it's easy, and you get out there and you're driving and you're like, I'm holding my line, and you're waving back and forth like a car width. So it's really challenging to keep the vehicles really smooth, and the drivers that can do it the most consistently, especially when needed, are the drivers that usually find themselves out front or leading or whatever. That was a bump and a half.
Yeah, that was a big old shove.
Yeah. But I think that was not Lee Bailey. That was, I think, Taylor Robinson giving the 69 of Jordan Kreider a shove. As Jordan's had his fair share of incidents here tonight, being wrapped up into them early, but coming here at later stages, up to that 6th position on the outside right now in that 69 Subaru Viagra truck. So definitely.
Sorry, Jerry, I don't mean to bust it. What made me laugh was that he's got rubbered up on the back of that. I hope he was rubbered up with that shove up in the back he got. Yeah,
it's the one of the sponsors of their races here. Obviously, you got the Rubbered Up Productions, so that's one of the teams out there that will be on plenty of the vehicles out here, obviously, along with Butt Kicker, Admin Box. There's a few others that I'm still getting to know off the top of my head here, and they're on the bottom right. Oh, the Gaston's iRacing Graphics as well. So if you're looking for any of those services, look them up on Google, or get with the league owners and they could point you in the right direction. They might even have some codes that you can put in if they're affiliated or something with them, then maybe give you a small discount for those products. But right now, Jordan Hand doesn't want no discount. He wants the lead. But it looks like we have a truck off in the back there. Looks like the 84 of Bryce Shoemaker, as he kind of went off down the backstretch. So I'm not quite sure what that was about. And I don't have anything saying he did anything wrong, so...
Nope. Well, it could very well be just one of those little trips below the apron that we were talking about earlier, Jimmy. And one of the guys got caught out earlier. It doesn't take much once you lose that toe, as we talked about earlier, that 20 mile an hour loss in speed, going from 189 or 190 odd to 170 odds, it's almost impossible to catch back unless there's that yellow. And with 14 laps to go.
3 wide there by Kenneth Cheney as he went to the middle of the between the 55 and 3 to put himself up into the 7th position. So things are starting to get a little bit racy as we are working on finishing lap 86 here as we cross the start finish line now. So we are now on lap 87 of 100. So looking to finish this thing up here fairly quickly as we have 24. Oh, wait a minute. 14 laps remaining.
Yeah, and now, if it's me out there, Jimmy, I'm now starting to think, where do I need to be? Can I make it on fuel? How's the truck feeling? Am I good on tyres? Who's running quick? Who's not running quick? You're looking at your relative. You're looking at the guys around you. You're looking for the guys who are trying to make space. This is where things start to get a little pensive and you're starting to get a little nervous. You shuffle yourself down in your seat, you pull your belts up just that little bit tighter, and your grip gets just that little bit tighter on that wheel.
Yeah, we'll pull us up to the spectator cam. So if you're on the front stretch and you happen to be lucky enough at the top, you'd be able to see these trucks kind of roll around here as they roll down the backstretch here, and you can see them close it in on some lap cars. So I'm going to go ahead and close in the camera here as they went through the grass there to let the drivers by. 8 still hugging the wall, missing that front end, but doing what he can to get a finish up the best of his ability here tonight. But Jordan Hand out front in the 20 with Josh Kreider in the 5, working his way back up here in 2nd. Dylan Carrier's in 3rd, Noah Blackwell's in 4th, and Jordan Kreider is in 5th. So the Kreider brothers or family is getting ready, looking to take the podiums away from some of these other drivers out here.
Yeah, credit to Chris Parkman and the 8 to just stick it out, stay out there, keep running that truck around there. He knows that he's got damage. He knows that there's no front clip on that truck, but he's out there for the points, and you've got to respect that. As you say, you've got to be in it to win it, and every little point counts. Right at the end of the season, just when you think, if only I'd had 2 more points left in there. These are the races that can make the difference.
And as they're starting to get really, see a little bit of net code there off the 76 and 88. 88 getting shoved down below. 69 comes around. Oh, the 76 gets tagged as well as they are trying to get them collected back up on the track. Yellow is out. Woo!
Yeah, we called it, Jimmy. We knew it was going to start getting racy.
Yeah, Jordan Kreider being a victim kind of that right here, and again SDK not helping me out, so we will do this manually here again tonight. I guess it's a Daytona thing. We're gonna go here and go back kind of right on board or behind the 69 of Jordan Kreider. Kind of see what happened here as it looks like the early 88 and 76 kind of getting into it. 76 knows he's down there now, so he starts working his way up just ever so slightly. The Excited Machine of Good Pass are getting a good run, but the 76 getting into the 69. Good old maneuver, slowing him up. 88 gets collected, 14 gets collected. Oh, the 76 gets tagged by the 55 of Tyler. They're trying to catch up. What's going on? And then if I flip around and look in the rear, oops. Oh, you can see the 38 kind of coming up. And let me click the rear chase here. You can kind of see everybody slowing up around them. Go for it, everybody. And you can see the 69 where he's kind of working on the apron and on the banking. That's hard to drive. By the way,
yeah,
it doesn't feel comfortable at all.
All credit to him for actually managing to pull that off and keep it up there. Yeah, that is not easy.
Yeah, so there it is, folks. Caution late here in the race. Now currently on lap 91 of 100. And it looks like everybody's going to come down in the pit lane here as Josh Kreider and everybody kind of coming down to finish this thing up here. Definitely what they needed. The thing is, will they be taking tires? I'll just kind of stay focused on Josh as he came down the lead. But it looks like just a gas and go for the 5, not taking the chance of even taking 2 tires or losing any kind of time. And he's going to come out in first place to lead the caution laps here late, as we are now lap 92 of 100. So it is late here. Sun's starting to go down, starting to get the sun's off the track. I mean, all kinds of things are changing. I think people are starting to show a little bit of wear and tear physically, a little bit of maybe tonight, Mark.
Yeah, I agree, Jimmy. And now we come to the age-old adage: do you want to be out front on this restart? Because as we've seen before, you can get a good restart here, but when things get a bit racy, if the guys behind you get that decent run and they can make that move around you, then it can all go real wrong real fast. So I'm not sure I'd want to be. I'm not sure I'd want to be out front. I'd be happy with 4th, 5th, maybe. Just not in the mid pack, but just enough to get a decent run coming out onto that big main straight. But what that will allow is, like, some of these guys who are now, a lap down, or who were a lap down, to get back on them the lead lap, and it's with 8 still left to go into this race, you can still make it from the back to the front.
Yeah, and right now you have the 77 right there in the tail end of the lead lap, obviously in front of the leaders, waiting for his wave around so he can speed up and go around. I'm just wondering if those drivers actually have enough fuel, to obviously get their wave around and be able to finish this race as it's coming down to the end. And we were talking about fuel, and this might be one of those times that they need to fuel save in order to make things happen. But there they go, as the 77 and who was that? Yeah, Brian Underwood and else was back there. There was somebody else back there. There he is, 35, David Mayo. But David being a little quiet tonight. I've seen his name up towards the front, but I don't think I've seen the 35 leading yet tonight. But in that position, 1 lap down. So now they're just waiting for another accident to happen and be the truck in position to get the lucky dog. But laps winding down here as we're working on lap 93 of 100 with Josh Kreider out front. Lights are off on the pace truck as they work their way down the backstretch.
Yeah, and now if you're Underwood, you are flat out, because you do not want this. You do not want this pack to disappear on you. You want to be right on the back of it. And
all 3 of them: Brian Underwood, David Mayo, and John Darnell. We've seen them all up front, and unfortunately ended up a lap down, due whether it was under a caution or whatever happened in the pits. But those 3 trucks have the speed, they have the talent to run up front, so they might be trying to get their lap back. They might work together, or they might just try to fight each other out to be the lucky dog in case an accident happens. But if they can all manage to get in front of the 5 and the 1 of Josh Kreider and Jeffrey Goodpasture, then doesn't matter who the lucky dog is. They can get around when the caution comes out and be right back on the tail, the end of the tail pack. But the pace truck is in, and Josh Kreider is getting ready to go green as they cross the Geico start finish line. Looks like the 3 of Lee Bailey is going to head down in the pit lane as we go green here.
He doesn't quite have enough fuel to get to the end.
Yeah, anything can happen here. These guys could end up wrecking here early on this first lap, or maybe he can go down there and get enough smash, or or something's gonna happen. But it's about that time though, Mark. Go time, as we are on lap 94 of 100, so it's still 6 laps remaining. And the number seems so small, but there's still a lot of time out here.
Yeah, it's still a great deal of time, and there's still one hell of a lot of racing to be had, because now this is when things start to get serious. This is when you're starting to push that guy in front just that little heavier than you were before. You want to try and make that move in, and there's still 2 guys coming into the pits. I am not sure that some of these guys are going to be able to go to the end with the fuel that they have got on board.
See here, working 3 wide as the 20 and the 25 working together as they run up through the middle. 17 to tag around. 24 gets a move to the back, shuffling his way behind. But the driver out front is the one of Jeffrey Goodpasture, being pushed by Josh Kreider. 20 looking to the outside of Jordan Hand, maintain third, trying to get that outside in the work for the 25. But the 14 looking to keep the 1 and the 5 out front, as he's kind of giving him a little push, getting into the 20 just ever so little bit tricky there. The 5 jumps out to the outside of Jeffrey Goodpasture, as he's going to get an excellent run. Not looking good there. Looking 3 wide. Still a lot of racing, folks. We still have 5 laps remaining as we're on lap 96 of 100. You can't win a race if you don't finish. Oh, there's a caution.
Yellow's back out. And you know this is going to help Underwood. If he can stay out there, he'll have that lucky dog. If he's managed to stay out of trouble, he will have that lucky dog. And we all know how quick Underwood was, because he was running right in the very front before. So now this is going to play right into his hands.
Right, no, that's not it. Trying to catch to see what happened is... I think it was back in the pack a little bit.
I'm looking. Oh no! I've just heard from the admin team that they have an admin glitch, and a yellow was put out there by mistake.
Well, I mean, the only person might not be mad about that is Brian Underwood.
Yeah, that's very true. That is absolutely true.
People are human, and everybody makes mistakes, and sometimes it's caution. Something that maybe the drivers didn't want, but it will take us down to our first green-white checker here. I'm pretty sure, this comes down to play. Can you save enough fuel? Does Josh Kreider have what it takes to stay out front over Jeffrey Goodpasture? Jeffrey kind of... Jeffrey Goodpasture diving down to that inside to avoid the 20 of Jordan Hand. So that was a close one there, as these guys are trying to finish up here tonight. Wow. It's nothing like going like 150 miles an hour and then you come around the corner and there's a slowed up vehicle.
No, and then you have to make that quick decision. Which way do you go? Do you go up or do you go down? And does the guy who you are closing down on also have the same thought? Then you are just begging that he doesn't choose the same direction you do.
Yeah, it's a little bit of luck. Sometimes it's good to be lucky. But right now, the guy that's lucky right now is Josh Kreider in the 5. Or is he, being that he's the lead car at a plate track, and it is very difficult to keep that position when the restart happens, So who is the winner here tonight? Looking through the field, you have, let's see, you got the 5 of and Josh Kreider.
There he goes. There's that lucky dog.
Brian Underwood, the 16th truck to make his way around the field. The only downfall about this, Mark, is that he is at the tail end of the longest line.
True.
So it makes it almost near impossible to get up. He will have to drive extremely fast and aggressive to make it around here, as they will be doing a green-white checker. So in 2 laps, Brian will literally have to go from the back to the front. Can he do it? Does the 77 have what it takes? We'll find out. But right now, Josh Kreider leading the group over Jeffrey Goodpasser, Jordan Hand, Donald Stewart, and William Conley for your top 5.
Well, yeah, not only that, but I don't mean to be the bringer of doom that I normally am. But this is the first at a green white. This is like the first attempt at a green white checker, and things. When you've got 2 to go, you start moving around. You're starting to look for that position. You're starting to see where you can fit that truck. Things tend to get a little bit spicy. So yeah,
they can get spicy.
Yeah, things are by no means over yet.
Yeah, caution lights are still on for the pace truck as I believe they go out this time by. You can see it flashing there on the sign below. Barney holding up the yellow flag as the lights are now off on the pace truck. So one more lap and these drivers will be making their way back to start finish line, looking for that white flag. This is going to be an amazing, and I hope these drivers can just get it done in one start as they drive through here to turn 1. Again, this is one of my favorite cameras, the digger cam here, just off the middle of turn 1 and 2.
Such a great view. Such a great view. You really get an impression of just how high they're banking in. Look at the height of the top truck compared to the ones on the bottom row. You never seem to kind of grasp just how far up those trucks are.
Yeah, it's a whole different animal. You know, standing on the track and riding in the car and driving around, and then obviously as viewers getting to watch the trucks get around here. But right now, they're coming down the back stretch. This is coming into turn 3 here. It won't be long before these trucks are turned loose yet again to take the white flag. Are they going to take the white flag this time by?
Good pastor. Yeah, first attempt at green white checker. It looks like no, I don't think so. Don't they have to? No, it's single lap and then you have to take a white. So I believe that this will just be a standard start, and then one lap in, we'll take the white flag to finish this out for a final lap.
Yeah, in any case, we're about to find out as the pace truck is in. Josh Kreider looking to restart here in the Geico start zone as he gets a nice easy jump there, holding Jordan Hand behind him. Will they work together as they go around this time around? But we are now lap 100. They have to make it all the way around.
There's back in the back, 38 in the wall.
Oh no! Gotta keep it locked.
It's still green. No, it's thrown.
There it is. Yep. The caution flag is out as Trent McManus gets involved there. Now the drivers just need to blow it up. So not even making turn 1. Go back here. That's what happened.
Go back a bit.
Yeah. Just go back just a little bit here. Let's see what happened. It looks like he just had a bad start. Down to the inside, kind of staying down, and then the 88 catches the bumper ever so slightly, turning around. The 38 flex the 88, the 55, the 35, it goes low. Ooh, the 77, blow it up. Brian Underwood, this is a break for Brian right here. He got the lucky dog. He's in the back. He has the opportunity to come in and top off if he doesn't have the fuel. So Brian Underwood catching a lucky break here late as we go back live here at lap 101 we're on lap 101. So we're going to do a couple more caution laps here. Do the drivers have enough fuel that took fuel early on? Oh, there's so many things that can go on, and the front drivers are like, oh, come on, let's just end this thing. As they've been in the cars over 2 hours, about almost 2 hours now. We're working on 2 hours right now, so definitely I'm sure they're ready to relax and stretch their legs and fingers and everything else that may be hurting when you're cramped up in your rig. So anyways, Josh Kreider out front over Jordan Hand. Jeff, a good pass from Donald Stewart. William Conley for your top 5. Then Kenneth Cheney, Nick Hewer, Bryce Shoemaker, Farrell Robbins, and Dylan Carrier in the top 10.
And this will be attempt 2 at a green-white checkered. As we mentioned earlier, there will be 3 attempts in total. But this is already starting to get spicy, as we've seen. Some of these restarts are going to be a little tricky. We're just going to have to hope that they can manage to get this all sorted out and get everybody in line and finish this thing solidly. They've done so well tonight. The whole race has been an absolute mission. They've done so well. 100 laps around here is not easy by any stretch of the imagination. So the fact that they've come this far, and I'm sure that a lot of these guys just want to finish this race under normal race conditions and don't want to finish it under the pace car.
Yeah, again, just a friendly reminder. It's a simple plug for CRN. If you haven't already, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell for notification. Help us out, help the league out, and all the other drivers that race on iRacing through CRN as we broadcast everything that we can to put on a great show for everybody out there that just kind of wants to see their driver just do their thing and have fun, and without having to actually buy all the gear, the equipment, or even iRacing. So whatever we can do to help you interact with your driver, we're here to do. Also to give the drivers a look back to see how well they did or mistakes that they have made throughout the race. But right now, Josh Kreider looking to pull this one in early. And with only a few more laps to go, the lights are still on the pace truck. So I'm just wondering who's saving fuel. Does that 25 have enough fuel? William Conley was called out early by Barry. So right now sitting in that 5th position. Can Barry get yet another win called from the seat of his home? So we're going to find out.
Yeah, Colin, looks like he's playing this smart. You notice that he's dropping underneath that apron on some of these bends, just trying to shorten the distance that he's got to run, trying to keep that fuel in the truck. He doesn't want to. He wants to keep the amount of distance that he has to run that truck behind the pace car to an absolute minimum. So he sometimes every now and then he's dropping below that line just to try and keep as much fuel in that truck as is possible. Still leading out the front, we have Kreider, Hand, Pastor, Connolly, Stewart, Hewer, Cheney, Shoemaker, Carrier, Robbins. There's our top 10, swiftly followed by the other Shoemaker, Keith, Lee Bailey, Jeff Clinton, Blackwell, Melvin Beringer, Trent McManus, John Darnell III, Brian Underwood, David Mayo, Chris Parkman, Taylor Robinson, Grayson Lucas. I'm not sure Grayson Lucas is still out there. It says he's 6 laps down, but he is right on my SDK, so I would presume that he is still actually running out there. And Jason Freights also showing as 7 laps down, but still showing as white for me, so that means that I presume that he would still be out there myself.
Yep, so Grayson Lucas is out there in the 6th doing his thing. 6 laps down or not, still running in 26th position. At least getting that position over Jordan Kreider has him out for the race. Jason Freights 7 laps down. So a few drivers trying to work their way around here. Still late in the game, but like you said, Mark, it could be that one point that gets you the win in the championship or another position into. I think these drivers get a small payout at the end of the season, but right now the yellow lights are off on the pace truck as the pace truck gets ready to enter in pit lane, and then the 5 and the 20 will lead the field down to the start finish line to get this thing started for yet another green white checker. 16 trucks on the lead lap. Who is the winner? Who's going to win here tonight? Who's going to bring home the first race?
It gets an absolute storming jump. Jumps up top moved straight in front of hand. So now this is going to leave the one of Godbuster just all on his own. But he's actually making that inside line work. This could get real spicy real quick.
Yeah, the 5 jumping to the top like that, looking for the push from the 20. Now it's going to fall to the bottom. The 20 is going to get an outstanding run. The 14 giving the 20 a humongous push out to the lead. 3 wide. The 5, the 1, the 76. Can they hold it? Oh, the 17 making his way into another 3 wide. 2 wide back off the apron just a little bit by Josh Kreider. Can he hold it? He does. Picking up the 25 of William Conley. Can they make that inside work? But right now, it's the 20 out front of Jordan Hand with the 14 pushing. White flag. This thing is official. This time by, we will have our first winner of the season.
Looks like 5 still making that.
The 1 is losing it back in the back, but he's able to maintain it. 20's getting a little bit loose. Sitting in 3rd. Anything can happen here. Everybody's looking for the winner down the back stretch. 84 pushing the 25. Not a very smart choice, but they hold it together as the 5 enters into 3rd. Back of the pack, it looks like the 35 and the 4. The 24 goes around along with the 14.
But this leaves Kreider Conley. Shoemaker still looking out for that front. No, here it comes. Looks like Kreider's going to make it. He's going to take that push from Conley. He's going to push him right towards the end. Conley.
Oh my goodness, what a finish. Obviously, hard racing at the end. Josh Kreider coming out with the win over William Conley in the 25. Bryce Shoemaker coming in 3rd. Jordan Hand in 3rd in the number 20. Then you had Nick Kewer, Jeffrey Goodpasser falls to 6th. Melvin Brugenherr all night doing a fantastic job with that 9 mark and finishing in 7th place. I wasn't even looking out for Melvin. He's been in the back all night, and I'm reading down the list, and there's Melvin in 7th. So awesome jobs for just hanging in there all night long, about 1 lap down, getting his laps back, and making for a great finish in that 7th position. Then 8th, you have Jeff Clifton, Lee Bailey in 9th, Trent McManus in 10th, Donald Stewart in 11th, Dylan Carrier in 12th, Keith Shoemaker in 13th, Farrell Robbins in 14th, Kenneth Cheney in 15th, Noah Blackwell in 16th, Brian Underwood finishes in 17th, 18th, John Darnell, 19th, David Mayo, 20th, Chris Parkman, 21, Taylor Robinson, Grayson Lucas in 22nd, Jason Freites finishing in 23rd, Jordan Kreider finishing in 24th, Landon Burbage back there in 25th, and Danny C. White finishing out the 26 truck field here. So not bad for a first race. Josh Kreider coming out with a win. We will wait for the drivers to hop down in the waiting room. We will pull them in here, get them an interview, and see what's going on. So right now we're just waiting for them to jump in the waiting room, and if not, we'll just say our goodbyes and go about our business. But right now, Mark, I think it was a pretty good race. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's Daytona. We all knew it was going to get a little spicy towards the end, with people trying to make moves, and some moves that weren't on, and there were some moves that were on that weren't made, and some moves that were made that were on that weren't on. So yeah, I've got a funny feeling that the admins are going to be pretty busy towards the end of this. But, you know, again, it's a first-time race for some of these guys. You know, some of these guys might be new to the league. They're not used to racing around some of these other guys. And, you know, it's a transition program. You know, it's a transition. These guys are going to need to understand, you know, what they need to do and how they need to race around each other. But as races go, and for 100 laps of Daytona, for it to come down to what it came down to at the end, that's still a great showing for their first time out.
Yeah, so it looks like we do have our 3rd place finisher in the waiting room, so I'm going to go ahead and move him down. Maybe move him down? Yeah, I got permissions. And our 3rd place finisher, Bryce Shoemaker finishing third. So Bryce, Jimmy, and Mark up in the booth. You copy?
I got you.
Hey, well, heck of a finish there as it got a little spicy as you guys had to extend this race out just a little bit in order to come away with a third place finish. How about you giving us a rundown of how your night went for you?
It was basically riding the back the whole race. I think when caution came out with 10 to go in stage 1, I got up there and we were 3 by 3 coming to the start-finish line. But besides that, I just rode in the back. There was nothing really going on. I think I was pitting every single time there was an opportunity, even coming to 1 to go. So it was a strategy game that never really planned out. So, and then I had a computer issue, so the last caution that came out really helped me. After that, it was just keeping the foot in the floor and seeing where it played out, and it happened to be third.
You know, obviously we're driving around a virtual car, so I guess, when your computer starts to have issues, it's kind of like your engine going down. In any case, you were able to catch that last caution, put yourself in position, grab yourself a podium finish here, third place, so not bad overall, especially after doing 108 laps here at Daytona, and it can be nerve-wracking as an iRacer myself. So from CRN and the rest of the crew out there, we wanted to say congratulations on the P number 3. I also want to give you a little bit of time for any shout-outs that you might have before we let you go to celebrate with your friends and family.
Yeah, I just want to shout out the team, Firestorm Racing. New to this series, I'm friends with Josh and Brian personally, so I'm glad they brought me on board and I was able to bring my team. God thanks Jordan, Nathan, and Keith. They really helped me with strategy. We were working really well together, playing in the back, doing strategy. So I got to thank them, I got to thank family, I got to thank all the sponsors that are on board with us this season. And just a big thanks to Josh and Brian for bringing me on board.
It sounds good, Bryce. Again, congratulations on the third place finish. We'll go ahead and let you go and celebrate with your friends and family.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too. And that's the 84 of Bryce Shoemaker, our third place finisher. And now we'll go ahead and bring in the number 25, the fan favorite from Barry. Hey, we'll go ahead and let you take this one, Mark.
William, Mark up here in the booth. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Yeah, very, very, very good. That looked a little nerve-wracking game towards the end. With 5 to go, and then everybody was fighting for position. I could see behind Josh, and for the briefest moment, I thought you were just going to give him a little love tap. I didn't want to put it any other way, just to get him to over rotate just a little. But then it just looked like you were just going to push him over the line. Was that the plan all along, or did it just pan out that way?
Yes, it did kind of. I thought someone was still on my outside there for a second, and I didn't want to cause a wreck because there was plenty of wrecks this race, and the intensity was way more than last season. I'll say that. And then and plus it wasn't. Yeah, I didn't deserve the win, I think, because I caused a few wrecks myself. Well, one was definitely my fault after the stage break. I pulled aside to not get run into the back of, and then still had too much speed away to turn 1. So just stupid stuff like that. But I'm glad for Josh, and that was the plan. I didn't want to cause a wreck on the outside. I didn't want to shove my way out, and I didn't want to pass under the yellow. So here we go.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, we saw the little accident from coming out of the stage break, and it looked like you just got a little bit too far under the apron, and then when you come back on, it looked like as you come back on to the track from the apron, the car just didn't want to rotate, it just didn't want to turn, and eventually just sent you straight up towards the wall and collected. I can't remember the name of the guy who you collected in the end, but it didn't look intentional. It just, sometimes these things happen. It was one of those things, but as I said at the time during the broadcast, maximum respect. You took it on the chin. You owned up to it. You said, "Yeah, that was all on me." They gave you the EOL, and you still managed to make your way back through the pack.
Yep, I took it easy after that. I rethought how I was about to do stuff and worked my way to the front.
Yep, absolutely superb run from you tonight. Before I let you go and let you get back to your friends and family, is there anybody who you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to my mom and dad for I don't know, just being there for me all my life. But besides that, I can't really think of anybody. So I wish you all the best.
All right then, my friend. It was a pleasure speaking to you. You take care, and a great second place from you tonight.
All right, thank you.
And that was the 25 of William Conley coming in second place. But now the man that we talked to in the beginning, I did not think we'd talk to him yet again, but anything is possible as, Daytona, always amazing things happen here. But Josh, Mark and Tom, or Mark and Jimmy up in the booth. You got a copy.
I've got you guys. Hell of a race.
Yeah, definitely a hell of a race. We've seen you up front early, seen you go towards the back. Things happen, kind of get caught up in a little bit of calamity here and there, but some some pit stops happened, and a lot of things, a lot of laps here, and to come out a winner here tonight must feel good.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. I first and foremost want to give a shout out to William Conley for sticking to my back bumper there and not making it 3 wide to go to the end of the race there. I sincerely appreciate that. I appreciate you guys up in the broadcast booth coming aboard this season. I know it was a little bit of a lengthy one there with the yellow flags, but it's the first race of the season. A lot of these guys have never raced with each other before, so it's kind of expected off the start. I want to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors. Noah Blackwell with NGB Designs, Bryce with Firestorm Racing coming out with a top 3 tonight, Admin Box, Gaston Graphics, all the guys that make this possible. I want to give out a shout out to my uncle Lonnie as well. He does the Grand Marshal for us every single week, and I know he's watching, and he's helped us out again this season financially, so appreciate that. And running the 5 car, he was a big Terry Labonte fan, so I'm a big Kyle Larson fan, which is what the scheme was based off of, but it means something special for that, and back-to-back season open wins, so it's awesome, man.
I guess you're a betting man. You're doing really good as far as the starts off. So with the league off on a great start and a great note, getting your first win here of the season, how you feeling about next week?
It's going to be anybody's game going in. I'm feeling confident. I feel like I can bring home another checkered flag. I think we got a good group of guys. We have an instant review team that's already back to work on looking back at every single yellow to clean up, and if there's anybody that's becoming troubles or doing any bonehead moves, we're gonna get them out and have cleaner racing than what we had tonight. But it was kind of expected. But as far as next week goes, and pack it up and go get another W.
Yeah, anything can happen, especially at Daytona. Everything on our end looked pretty clean. Nothing that would seem to be like a total bonehead move. But in any case, congratulations on the win. Congratulations to the league, starting the league off on the right foot. And we'll let you go and celebrate with your friends and family.
Appreciate it. Good Lord, Bob. Thank you for blessing us and getting me this win tonight.
And there you go, folks. The winner of the 5 of Josh Kreider. So one of the league owners, and looking to make sure everything is clean and up for all the races to come for the future races. So do you have any thoughts, Mark, on what we should expect maybe next week? Will Barry be able to, actually call the winner and not second place?
Well, I'm just looking down, and Barry Kibbs was saying, good racing, I finished. Congrats to the drivers, great broadcasting, guys, and congrats to Conley. I think he knew. I think that he knew that Conley was going to take the second. He didn't have time to put it into the chat. I think that's the only reason why he didn't get it absolutely all right tonight. But as for tonight, in general, I think it was a great race. Absolutely phenomenal race. Josh taking the win. Connolly, I mean, do I think it was the right move? I think it was the sensible move. I'm not sure I'd want to push it any more than what he did tonight. As he said, he made a couple of mistakes, but you know, I think that just goes to show, you know, there's sensible, you know, there's some sensible drivers here, and Shoemaker making third. The team championship, I think, is going to be incredibly close with 3 different teams already taken 1, 2, and 3. Like Kreider Bros Racing taking the first place for the team already. The GFL clan with Connolly and Shoemaker with Firestorm Racing. Although with Jordan Hand being in full, Firestorm Racing actually make third and full, so that is really going to help them in the team championship.
Yeah, that's definitely going to help with the team championship. As we'll run down the quick list here, is Josh Kreider obviously coming away with the win here tonight over William Conley and Bryce Shoemaker for your top 3. And then you had Jordan Hand and Nick Hewer. Melvin Bugenauer, I want to give a hats off to him. Berenger, there you go. Berenger finishing in 6th place, just hanging there. He was like a lap down forever, but didn't talk about him much at all. But I really want to give a shout out to him. And then Lee Bailey, Donald Stewart, Dylan Carrier, Keith Shoemaker, Farrell Robbins, Jeffrey Goodpasture, Jeff Clifton, Trent McManus, Kenneth Cheney, Noah Blackwell, Brian Underwood, John Darnell for your top 18. And then I'll pull up the rest here. Camo. There you go. 19th be David Mayo, 20th Chris Parkman, 21st Taylor Robinson, Grayson Lucas in 22nd, Jason Freites in 23rd, Jordan Kreider in 24th, Landon Burbage in 25th, and Danny White in 26th for our 26 truck field. So a good amount of drivers out here. I hope to see every single one of you all next week at what I say, Vegas, I think it was.
Was it Vegas?
No.
I'm gonna have to look.
I'm gonna look quick. So I give the right one. The schedule.
Yeah, it looks like Vegas. It is Vegas. Yep. Vegas and Dover.
So Vegas. So willing to gamble next week. I hope you're all out here. I'd like to, even if anybody that wasn't able to show up and is signed up, please show up. You guys are putting on a great show so far, and look forward to broadcasting the rest of the season. But if you don't have anything else, Mark, I think it's time for us to skedaddle for the night.
No, I think that's me done. I'm all talked out, Jimmy. The stress, it's the stress of watching these guys and running so close. I don't think I can take any more.
All right, so the stress is off. No more talking for me or Mark Thomas. Until next week, peace.
Take care, people.